Saint Benedict is a 6th century Italian figure, and he wrote a monastic rule that became the standard rule for monasteries in the Western Empire.
He heard the words that Christ gave us in the Gospels. I think he saw how Christ lived and he saw what Christ did. And he put them together in a way that people could live.
What I always want our students to do is actually read and interact with the rule and see if this 6th century document has anything to say to college students of today.
In the Rule of Benedict, it's always important to remember that it's not a book of do's and don'ts. It's really a trellis. It's what do you need to engage so that you can grow in relationship to each other, in your own personal development, as well as, most importantly, in that relationship with God. So one of the things that Benedict tells us in the rule is precisely this in terms of respect of person. No one is to pursue what is judged best for oneself, but instead what is better for someone else. So respect of person from Benedict's standpoint and from the description I would give it is seeing the face of Christ in everyone.
Persons should be respected. All persons should be respected because we are all made in the image and likeness of God. That somehow each of us reflects the great mystery and beauty that is God. So in the Christian tradition, the human person has inherent kind of limitless dignity and value, and respect for persons simply acknowledges that.
The word respect comes from the etymology from the Latin, which would really be to look again. And so we don't ever just look at surface. And Benedict throughout the rule shows us how we can do that. It's how do you look at somebody at a deeper level and not just judge them by how they look or even what they've done, because all are to be loved.
And in the Catholic tradition, particularly in Catholic social teaching, I would say respect for persons and the common good are the two axes around which all of Catholic social teaching revolves.
But Benedict, in his total respect for the individual and his respect for developing the talents and the gifts of the individual, always has us looking again and watching for who needs us and watching what's best for all of us and not just for me.
One of the gifts of these schools is that we speak a lot about community, and I don't think those are just empty phrases. I think there is a real community spirit here. But we're a relatively small community, and the strength of that is then, hopefully, that everybody can be treated as a person. I hope that we never lose that. I think that's a really important part of who we are and what we should be about here.
And even now I see my own community at St. Ben's, and I see it here at also St. John's, but we're very concerned about the social justice issues of today and the caring for the people who come to us, and we get many. And that's not only to those that come to the door, but to the sister that's sitting next to you, or to the monk here at St. John's that may just look like they're having a tough day, or maybe there's a family crisis. And I think that respect for person in terms of what do they individually need.
It's almost become cliche to complain about how uncivil everyone is, but I think there's a lot of truth to it. I'm disturbed by the amount of just plain meanness that I see in our culture. People just say awful things to each other. And respect for persons doesn't mean papering over disagreements. It simply means conducting them in such a way that we respect our own dignity and we respect the dignity of the people with whom we're dealing.
It's paramount to engage it right now. We are a very polarized society within our church, within politics, within neighborhoods, and we have to be the first ones to reach out.
So I just hope that we're not reductionist with people, that we don't reduce people to labels, that we always remember that people who see the world differently than we do, who vote differently than we do, who take different positions on cultural issues than we do, they're still people.